put this thing back on. I don't have my microphone on because my phone was going to die, and so I had to choose to either charge the phone or run the microphone. So we're going to charge the phone. Maybe we'll do that later. Cool. If I see you, I see you. If I don't, I don't. Either way, I'm going to build my thing. So here we go. In the meantime, you know, for the time it takes me to build this, I bet you that we could probably make this damn microphone work. Hi, Jane. Is it Jane? Is it Jane Ann? Is it both? How do we do it? Help me out. I'm gonna abort the charging the phone for right now and try to, let's see. We're gonna try to get the dang microphone working again because this doesn't work if you can't hear what I'm saying. Well, thank you, Amanda, for watching my videos. I appreciate that. The fact that anybody wants to watch anything that I'm doing is always a surprise to me, but I think that it's great. I really do. All right. Can you hear me better now with the microphone? Is it better? How about now? Can you hear me? Check, check. Hard to tell if this bad boy's working. I think it's working. Hello. Got me. Good deal. All right. Sweet. We are kicking butt now. If I have the volume up all the way, you can hear me? Okay, good. Well, I think the microphone's working. Yeah. Good stuff. All right. Back to cleaning this damn garage. Back to building this absolutely disaster, pain in my ass, freaking shelf thing. So here we go. Went to the VA, had my appointment at the VA. You know, there's plenty of stuff to say about the VA that's negative. There's plenty of shit to talk about it. It is government-run healthcare, which turns out isn't awesome. I always laugh when people are like, we want the government to run our healthcare, but that's because they've never been part of the VA. Or maybe they haven't been to like the free clinic, but typically speaking, when you let the government control it, it's going to be a joke. But that said, my doc at the VA is actually fantastic. I really enjoy him quite a bit. I'm a pretty anti-take medication guy. If I can help it, I don't take medicine. I'm not against it or anything. I'm not weird or anything. I just feel like if you don't need to take a pill, don't take a pill. If you don't need to take a, you know, whatever, don't take it. So that's my philosophy on that. So I'm trying to readjust this so you guys can see what I'm doing a little bit better. There, that's better. Jane Ann, make it all one together. Jane Ann, perfect. Got you. Right on. Okay, so my doc is a cool guy because he's not a pill pusher. He isn't always trying to get me to like take a pill, which I appreciate because I don't freaking want to take the pills. I don't like pills. And after my injury, my gnarly accident that I was in, I took a lot of pills for a very long time. And I don't know how. I was fortunate enough to have made it through that and not have developed a dependency on those because they were opiates. I took them for a year, every day for a year. And the day that they took the hardware, I had external hardware stuff holding my foot together. When they took that stuff out of me, I decided I didn't need the pills anymore, and I just stopped taking them, and it was pretty easy. Like, I never had an issue with it. Which I mean, like, to be honest with you, I'm going to attribute that to just luck, man. I got really freaking lucky that I didn't get hooked on them. And I think that there's a mindset there, right? So I got in a bad car accident. I was injured. I took my medicine because it was my medicine, and I I took it because it was doctor's orders, take the medicine, this is what you do, take this many pills this many times. So that's what I did. But, you know, I also was 21 at the time, and in the military. And so, you know, I was going out and drinking all the time too. But I just would take my medicine, and then I would go out to the bar with my buddies or whatever. I never made the connection between the two. I never made the connection that, like, if I took my medicine, then my time at the bar was better or whatever. And I think had I ever given that any thought, then I probably would have had a hard time. I probably wouldn't have, you know, I might have developed an issue with it. The early 2000s were a time designed, in my opinion, to get everyone hooked on opiates because they were loose and wild with them. They just gave that shit to everyone. I used to get 180 hydrocodone pills sent to me on an auto mailer every month. I didn't ask for them, they just did it. And by the grace of God, I just didn't have an issue with them. Which is just, it's luck, man. I feel so lucky. I feel so blessed to have not gotten into that. You know, and then I obviously I work in prison. I've mentioned that several times. So I know all too well the other side of that, when that takes hold. And so many of the guys over the years on my caseload and things, so many of those people that I have talked to and known, you know, so many of them, it started, they weren't bad guys. They weren't doing bad things in life. They were actually working decent jobs and being productive members of society. They got hurt. They got on a medication to help them. And that turned into a really severe addiction that became a big problem for them. So unfortunate. Such a bummer. It didn't happen to me. I got really lucky. Never ever take that for granted, to be honest. So, shelving is looking good. Appreciate that. Getting it figured out. So, you know, pretty much when it comes to my thoughts on that, I think that everybody, you know, be the master of your own mind. And I used to be really dead set on that to a point where it's probably a little detrimental. On this, like, it's your brain, you control it, you tell it what to think and what not to think and things like that. And I still believe that to some extent, but, you know, experience and age teach us things, and I learned through my own, you know, adventures with things that sometimes, man, sometimes that stuff can creep in that you can't get out of your head. You can't make it go away. And that's never any fun, you know? So, while I do believe that addiction and things like that are really, you know, anybody can stop anything that they want to stop if they are set in doing that. I believe that. I just think that getting to the point where you're ready to stop is that's the hard part. And sometimes, you know, no matter what you tell yourself, the brain sometimes just gets lockstepped in one idea, you know, and it's hard to shut that down. Even if it's not addiction, it could be having, you know, some bad thoughts. I went through a real dark period, I'd say, and place I never thought I'd ever be, and then I was, and I was like, hey, you need to knock it off, like, get it together, man. This is like, it's your brain. I control these thoughts, fix them, but sometimes they just don't let you do that. Like right now, I'm having thoughts of putting on a blindfold and going and walking out there in the street and just ending my pain of trying to put this shelf together, because this thing is a pain in the ass and I hate it. It's a stupid bitch. But here we sit. Anyway, you know, this is how Garage Time with Corey goes. We're just going to sit out here and think about whatever we think about. And most of the time I just sit here and rattle these thoughts around in my own head with nobody to listen to me. But here you guys are. So here you get to listen to my crazies. So that's cool. So yeah, if you've ever been down in that dark hole or dealt with addiction or if that's ever been your reality, man, I feel for you. I've been, part of it. Like I haven't had the addiction thing so much but I've definitely had my dark moments and been through some stuff. And, just keep fighting, man. Keep pushing. That's all you can do. One more day. That's all you need, And that was my motto. I sat there ready to be done with it all. I was ready. I was checking out, man. I was ready to be done with this plane of existence. But I got some kids and my daughters. I couldn't quit on them that easy. I couldn't give up on it that quickly. And so I said, hey, one more day. Made some phone calls I used an employee assistance program, and then I used a VA counselor. That it was a long process to get me to being able to see who I needed to see, but I got to do it, and it was healthy for me. So a lot of growth there, because I more than usual, I guess, more than your average person, have a pretty negative opinion about psychologists and whatnot, because I've had interesting go-arounds with them. But man, when you find the right one, boy, it works out, And I got lucky. I found a good guy that I like to talk to that helps me out and got me straight on the little issues that I was dealing with, and happy hunky-dory now. Now I just sit here, and my biggest problems in life are this piece of shit Costco shelf that is made out of plastic and disappointment. And so I just sit here and talk to you guys while I fuck around with this thing and try and get it to get put together. And we're getting close. God, we're so close, man. We are almost there. I just gotta figure this shit out. Anyway, let's see what everybody's got to say. Hello, everyone. We got 30 people. I love it, man. If you haven't, was a VA counselor helpful? You know what? He was, actually. So I'll get into that in just a second. Like and subscribe me if you haven't. If you're new, I don't know. I'm not able to read the comments while I'm over here working, but I appreciate you guys for watching. So let's talk about that. My VA counselor, here's how I knew that him and I were going to be a good fit. I had some VA counseling in the past that was absolute trash. I sat with a counselor. The very first time I ever went to the VA, I sat with a counselor, and the first thing she said to me was, she asked me a question, and she said, "Was you?" And I said, "I'm sorry, excuse me, did you just say was you?" And she said, "Well, yeah." I was like, "You're supposed to be smarter than me. Like I don't know if I'm gonna be able to handle this. If this is your English, I don't think this is the right place for me." And so I decided to not continue with that therapist. I spoke to another one who was a pill pusher, and I just explained I'm not a pill guy. I don't like to take them if I can help it. I'd really rather not take pills. And so we got into an interesting argument, actually. She had a very vested interest in me trying to take all this medication, namely Xanax. Really, really wanted me to take Xanax. And I just was having a hard time with how much this woman wanted me to take that pill. And I said, I'm not going to do it, and the fact that I have to argue that right now is a little bit crazy to me. So I think we'll just part ways here, lady. So I bailed on that one. And so then when I went through what I went through, the field that I work in, corrections, military before that, pretty high rates of negative thoughts. Ow, antisocial. behaviors, you know, some stuff like that. But anyway, within the law enforcement community, correctional officers or corrections actually has one of the highest suicide rates. And so I dealt with that, and I knew that was the case, and I was going. So when I reached out to this doc, the first thing I noticed on his behind him was a photo of him, and he's backpacking. I don't know where he was at in the photo. I do now, but I didn't at the time. But I saw that he was backpacking. I love to backpack. I love to be outdoors. Anything that's outdoors. That's my shit. So when I saw that, I was like, hey man, do you like to backpack? And he's like, I sure do. And that was it, man. After that, I think we spent that whole first session not even talking about the issues and the things that I was going through. We spent that whole first session just talking about like backpacking, whatever. But I needed that for me. Like, I need to know that you're like a cool guy. I got to respect you. I need to know, like, I have to appreciate you as a human before I want to listen to your advice. Because quite honestly, anybody can read a book. Anyone can go to the library, check out 2 or 3 psychology books, and come out and pretend away and tell you, you know, whatever. It's like, it's the person that has the ability to connect with you and then like on a deep level and then get to understand you. That's the guy or the gal that's going to help you. And I had never found that until I found the current guy that I see, and he's great, man. I really enjoy it. What I like about him too is that we've got such a good rapport built now that when I'm on some bullshit and I'm feeling sorry for myself, or, you know, maybe playing too much of the victim, he'll come right out and be like, hey, dumbass, you're being a whiny little bitch right now. And he'll tell me just like that, you're being a whiny little bitch right now. I love that, man. I love real talk. I love that. And that's what I need. So I thrive on that. So I get along really well with this guy. Feel very blessed to have found that as my VA counselor, because, well, so many people don't find the right guy, and it ends bad for them. But yeah, we're not going to start over again, Jane Ann. No way. Even if it's upside down, backwards, twisted, tied in a knot, I don't give a shit. We're just going to grab it and throw it in the corner, and we'll throw shit on there. I refuse. Somewhere now, fasten from bottom hole only. What in the hell does that even mean? All 24 horizontal side rails in rear grid using fastening screws. Oh, I see now. I see, said the blind man. I get it. What about down here? Oh my goodness, look at that. We got a lot of screwing to do, ladies and gentlemen. We have got some screwing to do. Don't get weird. All of these guys, I don't know. You can't see, but I don't know. I think these are pretty average. Anyway, all right. Now we got to find the right drill bit, and then we're off to the races. Okay, so anyway, that was that. A little bit later here, I got to go back to the fireworks stand. I might do another live then. I don't know. The whole point of the lives at the moment, for me anyway, are just to keep trying to build that following, get myself to a situation where, you know, I don't know, maybe this thing starts to produce for me so I can do funner things, like fun videos, cool stuff. There's a lot of equipment that is necessary to be good at this that I quite frankly, I'm not willing to buy it until I understand whether or not this is even worthwhile. You know, I actually haven't. It's so weird when you end up with friends that are influencers. So you guys know Justin quite a bit. Most of you guys that are here probably know Justin and Lauren and Steinmetz family. And I have another friend of mine who lives local here, who is also an influencer, does very well for herself. Hers is all beauty blogging. You guys might know her from Facebook or whatever. I'll give her a shameless plug. Her name is Kayla Gibson. And she does mostly like makeup and those types of things. She, great person, good friend of mine, was a school teacher and a makeup artist on the side, would do wedding makeup and things like that. But she's very talented, very good at what she does. And, you know, one video went viral and it changed her whole entire life. And she's doing really great stuff now. And I can say that she's one of those influencers, you know, personality people that still a good friend, just like Justin is, like Lauren, like the Steinmetz family. They're, yeah, they made it, they got a thing going, but they're fantastic people. And I think that matters to everyone, really. Because there's so many of these influencer people that do this thing, this going live, these making these videos, they just turn out to be such douchebags, man. It pisses me off because it always usually ends up being the guys that I like. You know, I don't know, I have some fitness influencers that I've followed in the past that I really enjoyed, turned out to be douchebags. I think most recently I just saw there's this, I think it's a TikTok type thing, but this Cakes with Katie. Just get absolutely roasted for, you know, being a diva kind of. And anyways, I don't know. I guess that's what you get when you fake who you are to get your viewers or whatever. So if this never turns into anything for me, that's fine. But my path to get there is going to be, I'm not going to pull my punches or who I am. The real me will sneak out no matter what, so we might as well just stay that way forever. Some people aren't going to like it. You know, I'm a take it or leave it kind of guy a lot of times. Not a lot of gray area. And that's totally cool with me. Like, that's fine. If I'm not the right guy for you, I get that. But if I am, whatever you're seeing or hearing, I mean, that's just who I am. You're not getting anything fake. If I'm being nice and genuine, it's because I'm being nice and genuine. And if I'm being a dick, it's because you deserve for me to be a dick to you. Or if I'm, you know, whatever it is, it's just, you're just going to get me. And all that really matters in this world is that my wife and my 2 daughters like me, for me. And so as long as I have their approval, everything else is kind of small potatoes, really. But I don't know. I got all kinds of stories. I've been through some stuff. It's fun to share it, and I don't mind being an open book. I think it's pretty healing to be able to tell your stories when you need to, even the bad ones, man. Even the stuff that happened in your life that sucks, that you don't really want to talk about. It's still good to chat it out. It's still good to give that version of yourself to everyone, because it's part of who you are. It made you who you are. The good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. So for those of you guys watching me and having a good time, getting a laugh out of the crazy, stupid shit I say, thank you. Thank you for bearing with me as I just sit here and screw my black poles. That's all I'm doing. Just a little screw, little here, little there. Got to know how to do it. It's all in the hips, you know? Like Happy Gilmore would say. Actually, I think it was Chubbs. So, anyway, 4th of July is coming up. Pretty excited to blow a bunch of shit up. Nothing better than blowing stuff up. A lot of people get upset about it. Oh, forest fires, my dogs. My favorite thing ever is when veterans get upset for veterans during the 4th of July. And I know there's some guys, I know that unexpected booms can mess with some dudes. I know that that's a real thing. But most of myself and all my other veteran buddies, they seem to like the 4th of July quite a bit. And whenever I hear people trying to talk about, like, hey, let's make laws, we got to get rid of the fireworks, I'm always like, yeah, that's what us vets love. We love when people take more freedom away. That's our thing. Please do that. Obviously, I'm being sarcastic. But that's my take on it. I sure love fireworks. I always have. You know, and in fairness and in full transparency, I did serve. I was in the military. That did happen. For just under 6 years. I joined in 2001. I was in basic training on 9/11 at Fort Benning, Georgia. And, you know, being an infantry soldier in that time, you would definitely be pretty safe to assume that I went to combat. The only thing with that is that I did not. So while I am very proud of my service, and I am very proud of my willingness to join and serve my country and do my job, I was not allowed to, well, it's not that I wasn't allowed, I wasn't afforded the opportunity to do that because of the accident that I've been talking about. In my pre-deployment, working up to my deployment to Iraq in 2003, my platoon leader crashed the vehicle that we were in rather violently. We rolled 10 times. Somewhere in that melee, my leg went out the window and got rolled over by the truck. And so I fractured my 5th metatarsal, compound fractured my 5th metatarsal, which would be like this bone on the outside of your foot. I poked that out the side of my foot, and then I broke pretty much all of that section of my foot with this bone poking out the side. Got a pretty good concussion. Yeah, thank you. Got a great concussion, busted out the window with my head, was bleeding all over the place, hanging upside down. It was quite the day for me. Anyhow, obviously I lived, but not without some lasting issues that I still deal with today, and it kept me out of the war. So I didn't go. I didn't get to go to combat. I didn't get to do my job. I didn't get to go with my guys. Everything happens for a reason, they say. I don't know, man. I don't know. I know this. My buddy Jeremiah Schmunk, guy in my unit, good dude, tough son of a bitch. Man, he was tough. Anyhow, Jeremiah took my spot in my squad. Jeremiah got killed. And there's no way for me to know if that would have been me if I was there or not. There's just no way to know it. What I do know, though, that is true is that he took my spot and he got killed. And there's a little guilt that'll be with me for the rest of my life about that. And that's part of that military deal. You know, you build this brotherhood with these guys, and so anybody who's ever served, if you know, especially if you served and your boys went and you had to stay home, oh man, that's a shit place to be, dude. Being home when your guys are at war is not where you want to be. And so I dealt with issues because of that for a long time. What did we do wrong? This thing is wonky. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I dealt with a lot of issues with that for a long time. A lot of guilt for not going, not doing my job like I felt like I should have. And it's, I know, I do. I know. It wasn't meant to be. It wasn't in my control. I had no way to stop the series of events that put me in the position to not have gone to war. But knowing that doesn't take away the feelings that I have, which is weird. You can logically think of something and it can go 100% against the way that you feel. What an odd thing that is, I often say that logic and emotion run parallel together forever. There's no intersection of logic and emotion. You're either a logical person or you're an emotional person, because when one of those things changes, I don't in my heart believe that you can be emotional and logical at the same time, nor do I think you can be logical and emotional. And so there is the what is that, like the dichotomy of good and evil. But I just sometimes I sit there and give an awful lot of thought. What would my life look like had I gone? What would I be doing, man? Would I be here screwing this piece of shit bitch ass shelf thing together? Probably not. Maybe so. I don't know. Would I be married? Would I have my kids? Would I have my career? I don't know. I do know this. All the things that happened in my life led me to the moment that I'm in now, and I got a pretty kick-ass family, good friend group, decent job. Pretty hard not to be grateful for those things. It's really hard to still not feel like I had a job that I didn't get to do. So, man, what's a guy to do about that? What an interesting dilemma to roll around in your head all the time. And that's what I do. Anyway, let's see. I'll take 2 seconds here and look at a comment or 12. Fort Stewart in 2003, and remembered hearing about that incident. So, yeah, it was, let's see. My counselor, what do you say about my guilt? Man, I'm so sorry. I'm going to have to go back through here and reread you guys' comments because I'm working and stuff. But my counselor said the same things that every counselor is going to say. He talked me out of it. He said, there's nothing you could have done. I mean, all the right things, right? He'd tell me all the right stuff. All the stuff that I know is true. But, like I said, emotion and logic, they don't align. And so what I know to be logically true doesn't align with the emotions I feel about the situation. And so it'll be what it'll be. It's too old. I can't, it's not like I can re-enlist and go and do something, and fix it or the thing, and I have absolutely no regrets. I would go back and join the military again and again and again and again and again. It really helped me. It set me on a really good path. It helped me pay for college. It helped me get a job. I mean, it's so many benefits that I gained from it. I have nothing bad to say about my time in the military. The only regret I have is that I didn't get to go do my job. And honestly, I feel like it's no different. I don't really care what it is that you did. If you went to college and did all this training to become a chef, but you never ever got to go into a kitchen, you'd probably have some kind of feeling about that too. And that's just sort of the way that I feel, as an infantryman, too. Like, the whole job is to go to war and fight. I mean, that was what I joined to do. I was like the easiest recruit ever. I used to ask my recruiter, like, what job do I get to shoot machine guns and throw hand grenades and stuff? And he was like, ah, you want to be in the infantry? I'm like, I sure do. That sounds exactly like what I want to do. I didn't even, it's funny because I didn't even think to explore the option or possibility of another job. I just knew that I wanted to go and do the stuff that I had grown up doing, playing, you know. And so that's what I did. I joined for the infantry and went off to Fort Benning, and it was great. I was in Fort Benning morning of September 11th, 2001. I had just got done doing some CQ and was getting relieved, and I got sent into the drill sergeant's office. I had to go in there and tell him I was going to go back upstairs. I just got relieved, and so I went in there, and they were all standing around this big TV, and there was a building on fire, another big building sitting next to it. And I'll be honest with you, at the time, I didn't even know what those buildings were. I didn't have any idea. I'm not from New York. I don't live on the East Coast. So to me, it was just a building on fire. But they were all making a pretty big deal about it, you know. I was like, oh, this is pretty wild. Well, all of a sudden, this freaking airplane comes and boom, slams into the side of this other, and it's fireball and crazy. I mean, you guys know, you saw, everyone knows about it now. And I was like, holy shit. And the drill sergeants were all freaking out. They were like, holy fuck, we're going to war, oh my God. They were losing their mind. And then they saw me, and I was just, you know, I'm just standing there, and they're like, get the fuck out of here. So I was like, oh, so I run upstairs. My barracks were on the top floor, and so I ran up, and I busted in, and I told the guys, I'm like, hey man, we're like under attack. I don't know, these two big buildings in New York just got hit with these airplanes, and you know, it's bad news. And one of the guys in my platoon, he comes running up. He's like, what buildings? What buildings? What buildings? And I'm like, I don't know, two big ass tall buildings. And he's like, well, my dad works in the World Trade Center. And I was like, I think that's what they are. So of course, obviously, he's freaked out. I didn't mean to freak him out, but I did. I will tell you, his dad got out. He did make it out, so that was good. But it's wild. So like a couple, I don't even know it. It seemed like it was only a couple minutes. It might have been longer, but we get a drill sergeant comes up and says, hey, we're everybody down to the company area. So we go into a formation, and then they march us into this classroom, and we're sitting in this classroom, and they got a TV on, and it's playing, and it's got, by now the Pentagon's been hit, both towers have been hit, one of the, you know, I don't remember if they had collapsed yet or not, but our first sergeant comes in, and he comes up to the podium, and we're all sitting there, everyone's quiet, and he said something that I'll never forget as long as I am ever alive, you know, because it was just a shock and awe moment, you know. He said, well, boys, we're going to war, and some of you are going to die. And I know that might sound a little bit morbid and whatever, but like the thing is I mean, he wasn't wrong. It's the truth. And honestly, like some of them guys in that room, they did die. And I know that sounds a little harsh, but man, we were there to learn how to be soldiers in peacetime. We joined in peacetime. Nothing was happening. And while we were there, this massive world event happens. And the reality is that like, hey, like we're going to war, dude. Like we're gonna go to war. All of us that are here, we're probably going to go to fight a war. And it was wild. A lot of people were not really there to handle that. A lot of people joined for college money, and going to war was never really part of their plan. And so they had a really hard time with that. Had a bunch of guys run away that night. Pussies, I think, but whatever. And then everything changed. And so every bit of training that we did, at least for me, my mindset was like, this is really important. I need to know this. This is gonna save my life. Learning how to use this machine gun is gonna save my life. Learning how to throw these grenades, or, you know, react to contact, or, you know, do all the things that we're learning. Like, it all really matters, because I'm probably gonna have to go do this. You know, and we hadn't, We hadn't switched training. Like I said, 9/11 happened while I was there. So the training I got while I was there was, I mean, I'd say kind of antiquated, like old, just typical Army. You know, they changed so much of how basic training, AIT and things like that happened after we'd been in a conflict for a little while, and they learned new things and whatnot. But everything mattered. So it's a crazy time to be in the military. Crazy time to be a soldier. Crazy time to be an American, really. But if there's one thing I missed about that time, it's the same thing that I miss about the very beginnings of COVID. And it sucks that it has to be this way, but don't you guys think that it's wild how awesome we all are when something super shitty happens? Everybody gets along. Like, for the beginning parts of it, politics, none of it matters. Everyone bands together. Everyone comes together for, like, to be decent humans and to do this thing. And it's like, we got to confront this thing. This is what's important. We're going to worry about this. We're not going to worry about all this piddly, stupid bullshit that we always all fight about. And for a little brief moment in time, the world, the unity in the country is just like, it's amazing. I mean, everyone's thinking the same thing, working together, trying to make things better. It's so good. And I don't know what the exact recipe as far as like how long it takes before that changes, but it is wild to me to think that you get, you know, I don't know, a couple weeks, a couple months, whatever past that. And then the politicians do what the politicians do because they see it doesn't really matter who's in office, doesn't really matter who it is. If something bad happens in the world, it's a gold mine for the opposing party. Doesn't matter because they can use it and leverage it. And they do it, and they twist it, and they spin it. And then it takes away all that unity and all that, and then we lose it, and we go back to just bickering and fighting. But in those little moments when the bad things happen, and everybody is on the same team, and everyone's working towards the same goal, and all the silly, stupid shit that we always fight about becomes so insignificant that we don't even worry about it, that is the American dream moment, I think. If that's how we operated all the time, holy crap, man, how awesome would that be? That would be pretty fucking dope. But you can just wait for a politician to find a way to exploit it and ruin it. And it's all the same thing, you know. It doesn't really matter what side of the fence you're on. You know, COVID happened. All that mattered is that none of us wanted any of our people or ourselves to die, so we were really focused on that, man. Shit, I remember when it first happened, I was in my basement with my wife sewing masks we went to the fabric store and bought all this stuff to make these masks and stuff because it was the beginning of it, man, and everyone was terrified. And I worked in a prison with thousands of guys in it, and my chances of being exposed to it were really high, so, you know, in the beginning, before I knew anything, you know, and I'm not here to have a political discussion. We can do that at a different time, but in the beginning of it, it's like everybody else, shit, I was scared. I'm like, man, we better take precautions, do what we got to do. I mean, it started here in Washington State, in a town I used to live in when I was a kid. I used to live in Bothell, and that's where the first case of it was. So I was like, oh, this is bad news. But I did stop for a minute to recognize that we had this crazy moment where everybody was worried about that and everybody was getting along, and then it drug out and then it turned into a mess. And now we still got people wearing masks and that are scared. I'd say there's like a whole damn movement that happened because of that. There's fear that was put into people that'll never ever go away. they'll live the rest of their life scared of some contagion or something, and that's a freaking bummer, dude. Frickin' bummer. All right. A little tube of treasures here. I got extra screws. What they go to, I don't know. Like and subscribe if you haven't. Love to have you on here. I don't know what I'll talk about down the road, but it might be great or it could suck. You never know. Times for me are unpredictable. Might catch me on a good day. We're having fun. Might catch me on a pissed off day. We're talking about fucking traffic. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that one again. Anyway. Double tap the screen. Yeah, so we did survive COVID. Yeah. Born and raised in Washington, moved to Arizona. Oh my God. It's the only Western-ish state I've never been to. I need to get to Arizona. But I still drink out of the hose, she says. Yeah, buddy. Anyways, here's my thing about all that. I don't really give two shits if people believe that we should have masks or not believe or any, like all the COVID, whatever. I don't care. All I care about is you do what you think's right for you. I'm gonna do what I think's right for me. And as long as your shit doesn't get in the way of my shit, then we're cool. That's pretty much my view on just about everything. Politics, all of it. Like, I don't really care what your views are. They're yours. You can have them and live your life within the way that you think that it should be. I'll do the same. We should be super good. If everybody felt that way, I feel like the world would be a better place. But once you start trying to impose your shit on other people, well, probably gonna make some people upset. Speaking of upset, who's not upset that we got this shelf built? Let's grab a tote, test it out. That turned into like a freaking TED Talk. Sorry about that. It's like over here just like dumping my heart and soul to you guys about some deep shit. A little therapy session. You guys should be, I should be paying you guys to listen to my sob stories over here, but instead, I'm just gonna dump my emotional baggage on you for free. You're welcome. Oh, that's just, I thought I was grabbing like a really nice light tote, and this one's super heavy, full of a bunch of my ice fishing stuff, but you know what? Let's just do it. All right. Look at that, dude. Ha! 27-gallon tote. Yes, this one's a little rough. She's seen better days. She's been broken about 40 times on the ice, but yeah, that's it. Washington State worked for the state of Washington, and it was mandated that we get vaccinated. I work for the state of Washington and had to play that silly game myself. So, been there, yeah, had to do it, had to go. Went and did the one and done. Got myself the Johnson & Johnson one because that was the only way I could keep my job. And yeah, no sense getting into that. I got my own thoughts on that. But, oh, dude. Heck yeah, man. I'm actually, I think I'm going to come to Alaska in November, I think. I think my plan is to try and get up there, back around Wasilla. You know what? No, I don't. It doesn't have any feet. It came with these, I'll show you. But anyways, my plan is to get up there in November. I want to go get Arctic char. I got one last year, but it wasn't in the color phase, the spawn phase that I was hoping for. And so I'd like to get back up there. We were around the Willow, Wasilla area, fishing on Big Lake. Had a really great time. I'd love to go. I would love to. I wish I could have done that, man. I wish I could have made fake vaccine cards. I couldn't do it. Like I had them to go to restaurants and stuff, but my work needed like I actually had to get it done at work, which was super dumb. But anyways, it looks like it's a foot. It's not a foot. It screws onto the wall to hold this thing against the wall, which I'm probably not going to use that. But anyway, interesting. Yeah, shoot, man. I don't know. We just built a shelf together. We talked about a bunch of crazy stuff. we went in and out of politics. We went in and out of my deep, dark, dirty past and things, and a few things here and there. So I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me. It's been great. Don't know how many are new, how many are old, what do we got, how many trolls I got. I'm actually stoked to go back through and see if I got trolls and see what kind of silly, crazy stuff they said. That part of it I find comical. I'm sure eventually I'll find it super annoying, and I'll be pretty pissed if people go into some bullshit racial stuff, because I'm not with that. But it happens, you know. But I I just like to see the silliness that ends up popping in here. So when everything comes crashing down, remember this moment. Wait, what? Is that to me? Next month, don't say anything. I guess I'm so confused about whatever that means. Yeah, thank you guys. Thanks for watching. I don't have much else to say. I'm gonna run inside and get some stuff together, and then I gotta go to the fireworks stand and go hang that nonsense. That's quite the deal. So, oh, I see what you mean. Okay, my bad, dude. I don't think it'll fall down. I don't. I could be totally wrong. And you know what? If it does fall down and everything breaks, then I have to throw it away, and then my garage is even more clean. So it's kind of a win-win, really, if you think about it like that. So, but let's see. I'm gonna pop this thing off here before we end this, and we're gonna go out. We're going on a little hunt together. So before, I need to check this, and I might as well check it with you guys. Here's the deal. I got these damn moles, these rotten little bastards. So I've never had moles in my house. And then right before my daughter's graduation party, when I had my yard looking so good, these little bastards showed up, and they just tunneled and dug and burrowed. And so here in my yard, I had all kinds of freaking mole holes. So I've been actively trying like hell to catch these little sons of bitches, and they have been elusive, to say the least. I've got 4, and not how you think. I got one with a trap. I got one, I stepped on the hole, and I saw him pushing the dirt back up, and I was like, oh, you messed up. So I kicked him out of the hole, and anyways, that was it for him. Another one was pushing up his head, and so when he popped his head up out of his hole, I just happened to have some leaf pruners with me, and we just lopped his head off, and that was good. And then the other one, I drowned him, but I didn't do it on purpose. I have irrigation, and I ran the irrigation, and somehow it flooded out his tube, and I just found him drowned in the yard. But anyway, I have so many more. They're impossible to catch. So here I've got this. It's called the gopher hawk, and we're giving her hell, but it's not going to work. So it's got a little basket on the bottom of it with a rod in it, and as a little mole comes in and he touches that rod, it goes boom, and sucks him up. And it's a super cool idea that I'm sure works great for some people. This rotten thing, I've caught one. And so I got that. See, as I've got these little guys, and they're kind of a pain in the ass to set, but I did catch a mole with one of these, and I do have one set right here in my ivy to try and catch this little bastard, because I'm getting pretty sick and tired of it. And that's it. So having a weird cloudy day, which I'm not going to complain about, because it means it's not super hot. And that's it. Last time you guys saw us with Justin, there was the boat. She's just chilling out here now. So we're kicking it. All right, 54 minutes, we're making it. Moles do suck. Brenda, I don't know how you can help me with it, but I'm down. Whatever you got, whatever magic you have. Oh, that was the other thing. Some old timer told me, he said, buy juicy fruit. Get juicy fruit gum and just roll it up and stick it in the hole, and they'll eat it and it'll make them die. And I thought, all right, deal. So I bought a bunch of juicy fruit and I stuck it all over in the tunnels. I don't think it worked. I just don't think that it worked. But milky spore in my backyard help with the moles tremendously. What is milky spore? I'm getting a text from my daughter. She's on a plane right now flying home from Paris, and this text just said, "It's raining and storming. If you never hear from me again, that's why." Let's hope that's not true. But yeah. Let's see. What else? What else before we go inside and call this a quit? What do you guys know about spruce tip syrup? First of all, how many of you guys like whiskey? Milk spore. No moles. I don't know what that is. I'm going to Google that. It's like fertilizer? Okay. I'm going to check that out, Melissa. Anyways, if you're whiskey people, I'm going to give you the recipe that you never knew you needed. So, I make spruce tip syrup because, as you can tell, I have spruce trees in my house. And it was raining one day and I was bored off my ass, and so I saw a video and some gal was making some spruce tip things, and I thought, oh, that looks kind of fun, and it just happened to be the time of year that I had them, so I went and got them. And so I made this bad boy. Now I've done it a bunch of times, but dark brown sugar, spruce tips, dark brown sugar, spruce tips layered, fill it up, pack it tight, and then dump a big old glob of some like Evan Williams or a cheaper bourbon on top of it, just to kind of keep everything loose, and then sit it out in the sun and just let it go. Here, probably this weekend, I'm going to take this and I'll go inside and I'll heat it up, pour it through a cheesecloth to strain out all the spruce tips, and I'll get a spruce tip syrup. It's got an interesting flavor to it, but it's good. My youngest daughter and I, we took a bunch and made caramel with it, boiled it down to caramel, and then dipped it in dark chocolate and put sea salt on it, and it was freaking awesome. But if you like whiskey and you like old fashions, the spruce tip syrup in an old fashioned as the sweetener instead of a simple syrup or instead of a Demerara sugar cube is like out of this world. It's so good. I like to use, you can get it anywhere in the country, but it's Widow Jane Applewood Rye. Oh, dude, super, super good. All right, so that was my ADD because I was walking in the door and I saw my spruce tip syrup and I thought the world should know about it. Decon bars on a rope. Don't touch it without gloves. Okay, Brenda, I'm doing it. I'm 100% going to try that. I'm going to glove up and I'm going tunnel ratting. We're going in. We're decon barring it. Get ready, you little bastards. Brenda gave me the tools, and now you're going to die. That's what it is. Hi, Sheila. Yeah. Well, man, what a crazy day today was. 2 different lives, 2 long time, 2 hours to build one shelf that probably should have took 40 minutes, but hey, we did it. All right. I'm going to go deal with my stuff. I'll turn this thing back on maybe at the, that's probably why I've been struggling so bad, Brenda. Too much human scent. I'm not doing it. I also found out that moles don't eat, like they eat worms. They're predators. They just dig holes and eat earthworms. Who knew? Thought they ate roots. Anyway, thank you guys so much. All of you guys, I appreciate you so much. I'll be back tonight probably at the fireworks stand. I'm on the West Coast, so it'll be my time, probably late for a lot of you. And if not, come back, join us. If not, no big deal. I know Justin's gonna be doing his lives, and so when he does his, I assume I'll have next to nobody, but that's good. I need to grow my own following anyways, so appreciate you guys. Have a good one, and talk with you later. Okie doke.